today's topic, as I said earlier, we're going to talk about mindset because we are in an industry that is so heavily focused on personal development. There's no other industry out there that focuses on personal development as much as network marketing does. So it's really, really important for all of us, no matter how seasoned we are or how brand new you are. Maybe you just joined today. If so, welcome. It is just so important for us to know how to wire our brain, because most of us are not conditioned the way that we need to be conditioned to be successful in network marketing. So and hence we have to do a lot of personal development to get to where we need to be, and in order to bring in the results we're looking to bring in. So thank you for hopping on. So let's get going here. So you know what, all of us, most of us are so busy in our everyday lives. Some of you, I assume actually the majority of you are holding jobs outside of your home, whether you have a full-time job or part-time job, or you're doing something for somebody else, which takes a lot of time out of your days. Then on top of it all, many of us have children. If you have children, drop a comment, drop a number 1 below in the comments. I bet most of us have children at home. So that's another thing. You know, there's just so many things that happen to us on a daily basis. There's positive things, but then there's also a lot of negative things that happen to us. And we need to kind of condition our mindset and our brain to only filter through the good things and to kind of close our eye or almost put blinders on to the negatives. So you know what I personally love, and I've done this for the past 2 years that I've been with Monat now, I love starting my day off with personal development. Later on when I talk about scheduling, I'll actually show how I fit this into my days. It's easier than you would think. But to all of you, if you don't do personal development right now, if you don't know what personal development is, we need to have a little chatty chat right now. So personal development can be anything that develops you personally, that changes your mindset, that teaches you new things. I personally do personal development first thing in the morning. I wake up, I open my eyes, I get out of the bed, and I go and do my makeup and I brush my teeth. And this is the time when I usually do my personal development. My preferred method or method of delivery for personal development are videos, because I can, you know, do something else mindless at the same time while I'm listening to something that's amazing and that kind of feeds my brain with all the positivity that we all need in our lives while we're running our network marketing businesses. So for me, it's videos. There's so many, you just have to look them up. I could name a few you could follow. You could be following Tony Robbins. He's very generic, but very, like, he's not just network marketing, but he's gonna put you in the right place if you follow him for long enough. Eric Worre, which is fantastic. He's amazing for network marketing specific kind of mindset training. So there's so many things that you can do. I personally prefer to do it first thing in the morning for the reason that this gives me no chance for anything negative to happen before I start my day. Like, I don't wake up in the morning and start checking things on my Facebook or whatever, although that's the most tempting thing to do, because when the alarm goes off and you look at the time, you see all these notifications and you see that somebody messaged you. No, like, I just say no to that. I go to the bathroom, start getting ready, and that's when I get my personal development in. And then after that, when my brain is wired properly for the day, that's when I can start doing other things. But do get the personal development in. If you're more of a bookworm, if you love reading books, physically having them in your hand, that is fantastic too. Do that first thing in the morning, because that's when your mind is the most receptive, it's the most fresh, and you can actually wire yourself properly for the day. So another thing as far as mindset goes, please find yourself a mentor. It doesn't have to be your upline. It doesn't even have to be anybody from Monat. It can be anyone. Like, you can choose, it doesn't have to be anyone you have ever even met, but it can be somebody that you will religiously follow and take their advice and actually implement what you're learning. That's a whole other topic for another training. But find somebody who you include in your daily activities or personal development that you follow. Like, for me personally, there's quite a few of them, but Eric Worre and Tony Robbins are a couple of them. I just sort of alternate between them depending on how I feel like in the morning. But find yourself a mentor. That's so important. Somebody that has a ton of knowledge and that actually knows what they're talking about. So, you know, when we set ourselves up in the morning for something super positive, like some great personal development, that also makes you more productive throughout the day. It makes you feel more motivated. It makes you feel more pumped up. And that's what's really important for us. So another thing, mindset-wise, okay, so we all live crazy lives. I am absolutely sure that, you know, you're on a roller coaster ride just like me. It's probably just a different roller coaster, but things go up and down and really good things happen, and then something crazy happens and you think, oh my gosh, the world is coming to an end. So we really need to learn how to deal with those downs just as much as we celebrate those ups when the roller coaster goes up. So my favorite method, and this is so stupid simple, to filter out negativity is to stop watching news. When I joined Monate, about the same time, we actually canceled our cable subscription because all it is just negative propaganda. It's all drama, and it's just so negative. So we actually completely quit the TV, and nobody, including our kids, we don't even miss it. It's really an amazing thing for you to do. Plus, your bank account will thank you for that as well. So, you know what, when we have those negative low vibes, when negative things happen to us and we allow ourselves to be consumed by them or go with the flow with the negativity, people around us, they can sense our negative vibes. And guess what? This is when you start getting a lot of no's. This is when people tell you that you're maybe crazy for doing this kind of a business. And because people sense the negativity and they don't want anything to do with negative people. So, you know, unless you want to attract negative people, cut out as much negativity from your life as you possibly can. And you know, those periods, I mean, we all go through those periods when we get a lot of yeses, and then we get those times when everybody says no, and we almost start feeling like we want to quit, and, you know, this is not for me. You know, that's when you need to sort of step back and take a look at how you're showing up. Are you actually showing up positive, happy, chipper, you know, energetic? Like, would you want to work with you? And there's usually a big answer right there. Because sometimes we kind of start going down and down and down with our mindset into a little bit of a negative hole, and we don't even notice it because it happens so gradually. So take a look at yourself when things sort of are not going the way you want them to go, and just see if it comes from you. Oftentimes that's the truth. I notice this with myself all the time. Like, you know, constantly checking in that, okay, am I showing up as positive as I can? Am I showing up as happy as I can? And if not, then I need to modify it. But it's just being kind of self-aware. So another thing is complaining. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about this one before I move on to the time management. My favorite part. But every time we complain, and I know I see it in the team groups, I know Mandy sees it, she has to sometimes delete posts because they get out of hand. We really need to be aware of not complaining, because every time you complain, I actually took some notes because I had some very smart thoughts here. Every time you complain, you immediately give your power away. And you instantly not only show yourself but the entire world that you have no solutions and that you have nothing to offer but plenty of negativity. So if you don't like something, either change it, create the solution, or just don't say anything. This is for your own best, in your own best interest, but as well as think about those brand new market partners that are coming into the company. Just, you know, if the first thing that they see from you is something negative, how is that gonna make them feel? It's gonna probably make them feel like, oh my gosh, I made a mistake joining you in the first place. So no complaining, guys. And another thing is what we think what we think and what we speak, it ends up being brought into existence. So what's your negative self-talk? I know that it's a human nature to kind of default to the thing that if something goes wrong, you start thinking, I'm not good enough. but I'm not like her. I'm not like Mandy. My hair is not as long as Mandy, so maybe they didn't join me because my hair wasn't as long as Mandy's. Or, anything like that. What's your negative self-talk? Because what you speak of and how you talk to yourself you manifest this into reality. And do you really, really want that? Instead, I want you to try this. I'm a huge fan of this kind of thinking, and I do this all the time. Whatever your goals are, let's imagine that you want to hit MMB this month. You want to start hitting the MMB so that you can come to Bermuda with us and have all the fun on that fancy boat. If you're not an MMB right now, you start telling yourself, it may sound or seem crazy at first, but you want to start telling yourself that I am an MMB. I'm an MMB. This is so awesome. I am an MMB. And, I actually put little sticky notes all over the house with my next goal, with my next rank, because I want my brain to only accept the fact that this is what I am and nothing less. So speak of things, of your goals, as if you already have them, as if they already happened. It's so, so, so important for you. Same with... if you have a goal, you should have a goal of how many VIPs and market partners are you going to sign up this month. If you haven't signed up any yet, but your goal is to sign up 4 by the end of the month, 4 market partners, you tell yourself every day, along with the I am an MMB, you tell yourself that I have 4 new market partners in August. I have 4 new market partners in August. I am so amazing. I have 4 market partners in August. So it is so, so important how we talk to ourselves, because this is what becomes your reality. So cut out that negative crap, because this is not good for you or for anybody else. So anyway, if you found any value in this, give me a couple hearts there, and we're going to move right along here. Another thing, this goes along sort of with the mindset. Think about how do you show up every day. You do your personal development. I hope you're going to be doing it after this call right now. But what is your daily mode of operation? How do you function? Do you wake up and you just start, do your personal development maybe and start scrolling on Facebook, see who messaged you, kind of willy-nilly go along with the day, go with the flow, see what happens, see who you can meet? Is that what you do, or do you have a certain plan in place? I personally, I'm going to share with you what I do. I have a personal, I call it my daily mode of operation, or DMOO. So every day at a minimum, I add 5 new people to my contact list. This is a non-negotiable. They can either come from new Facebook friend requests, or it can be the lady in front of me at Starbucks who has awesome hair, and I complimented on her hair, and we started up a conversation. But 5 new people on the contact list. The other thing, minimum 5 to 10 follow-ups. You should have minimum 5 to 10 follow-ups to do every day. If you don't, it means that your funnel isn't quite as full as it should be. Another thing, 5 to 10 new exposures to money. Those ones are actual people who I would either share a Dare to Succeed video with, or I'm gonna do a Dare to Succeed myself. I'm gonna go sit down for coffee, or maybe we go on a Zoom call, a video call, anything like that. But it's 5 people who I actually expose to what we've got going on product-wise and business-wise. And then the last one, which I love doing. I mean, my personal team is huge by now. I think we're over 2,100. Not that the numbers really matter, and I don't want anybody to be comparing themselves, but I personally find that I don't know half the people on my team. So as a part of my daily mode of operation, I actually have a goal to reach out to at least 5 new team members every day, and just say hello and introduce myself and make myself available to them, so that they don't feel intimidated that, oh my gosh, she's up there somewhere and I'm not allowed to talk to her, or that they're not good enough to talk to me, or anything like that. Like, I just want to break down any sort of walls, and I reach out to 5 market partners a day who I have never spoken to before. I find it's a really good way to kind of create that tight-knit team, so that everybody feels like, okay, we work together and we're in this together. So what do you think about that, guys, so far? Put the number 2 below if you found any value in this. So let's talk a little bit about scheduling. I know that most people come into network marketing because they want either more of something, more money, more time, more whatever, freedom, or they want less of something, like less stress, less hours at their, job, anything like that. So we have busy lives. That's my point. Little bit about myself, just so you guys have a bit of a perspective. I used to be an optician for 15 years before I started with Monat. I was an optician, eye clinic manager, but this was way too stressful for me. My husband is a captain. As of right now, I see him about 5 days a month. We have 2 kids at home, 13 and 4, and now I am retired full-time into Monat, but my life is still nuts because one kid needs to be here, the other one needs to be there, and then they want to eat, and then something else happens, the doorbell rings. Like, there's a gong show happening here every day. So how do I get through my days doing this practically alone? You know, we need to prioritize. We really, really need to learn how to prioritize. So if you have, we're going to talk about the scheduling in just a minute, but if it's your Monat time, if this is your work time, whether you're able to work 4 15-minute time slots a day on your Monat business, or whether you're able to do a little bit more, but if it's your Monat time, and if the phone rings, or if somebody invites you to go out for coffee for, you know, non-Monat related reason, you need to be able to say no to those things, because you need to show people and yourself as well that your business time is valuable and that you are not joking around. Like, this is not some kind of a willy-nilly when it's convenient type of a business, because that's, if it's willy-nilly and if it's, you know, a sometimes hobby type of a thing, that's how it's gonna pay you. And I bet most of you are not here for, you know, hobby income, $50 a month, right? So you need to prioritize, and you need to be just really firm about, this is my work time. This is my time. Every night, what I love doing, and it has changed my life, you guys, I swear. I have like these little, whatever, it's a notepad where I can rip pages out of. But every night before I go to bed, I actually grab one of these sheets and I write down 3 things that I absolutely must do the next day. So it's the non-negotiables that no matter what, I'm not gonna go to bed the next day until those things are done. So when I wake up in the morning, I do my personal development. I do look at my paper and I'm like, okay, so let's get these things done, and let's schedule them into my calendar so that I'm gonna get these things done and I'm not gonna be overwhelmed the day after, because now I have 6 things that I need to do. So this can work really, really well, and it's only 3 things. It just seems like so little and so doable for us psychologically. But yeah, start with those things. Now, my best friend when it comes to scheduling and fitting everything in, I love office supplies. I seriously love office supplies. So my best friend is, and you can have anything you'd like, I personally love using a passion planner. Your planner doesn't have to be this fancy. You can go to Staples, you can buy a $5 planner with the hours and everything pre-filled in for you, but have a planner. I personally would not suggest you using your phone's calendar, because you don't have an overview. You cannot physically like highlight things, and there is a psychological connection from our hand to our brain when we highlight something, and when we actually write something by hand. It is so much more important up there for us than just typing it in and setting a reminder on the phone or anything like that. So I really, really suggest you guys go back to old school, get yourself a planner. Number 1 step. I love color coding. You guys, okay. This is my week this week. So let me break this down. It's actually not as filled up right now because the kids are not in school in Canada for another month. So this is going to be a lot more filled in when my kids go back to school in September. But what I do, so, oops, sorry, that was my hair appointment slip. I'm getting my hair done on Monday, a little sidebar. So anyway, how I love doing this. So let's imagine that this is a whole new week. I actually put in all the non-negotiables. So my daughter's Taekwondo lessons, I know that has to happen. I'm gonna go there. Plus the Taekwondo is a really great place for me to mix and mingle with other moms, some of who are already Monat VIP customers thanks to me going there, but there's a few more to go, so I have to go to Taekwondo. This is a selfish one. You know, and I have my personal development scheduled in 7 a.m. every morning, half an hour personal development. That's the very first thing that happens. So, and then after that, I even schedule in the lunches. Now that it's summer, I'm home full time with kids. I even put down 12 o'clock, that's the lunchtime. I force myself to take a break so that I can prep something for the kids and for myself, and so I can blast through the rest of the day. Same with the dinner, you know. When am I gonna prep the dinner? I actually schedule it in. I know it sounds crazy borderline to some of you, but since I started being more structured and more respectful with my own time even, that's when things got really awesome for me. So after I do personal development in the morning, and your schedule can be anything because you all have different kinds of lives, but right after personal development, and after I take a look at my 3 non-negotiables that I have to do that day, I have scheduled about 2 hours just for follow-ups and for connecting with people. This is how I love to start off my day. This is what's happening. And then, you know, in the evening, the same thing. Like at 8 o'clock, I came on live here at 8 o'clock my time because I know my daughter is gonna be in bed at 5:30. Oh, I wish. And she goes to bed at 7:30, so I knew that at 8 o'clock can be my work time. So from 8 to about 9:30 in the evening, sometimes later, again, it's my work time. So anything Monate is green for me because I feel that green is this happy, productive color. It doesn't irritate me. So everything Monate is green. Anything family related is pink, like the lunches, my daughter's things, whatever I have to do with my son, it's all pink. And whatever is personal development or whatever courses or anything I have signed up for or other stuff, it's all in blue. So I try to keep it to 3 colors because, you know, my brain only can handle that much. But, you know, you just want to plug in things. And, you know, here I see tomorrow is Thursday, and I see that, you know, after I'm done with a few of the things here, I have a little time break between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. So I may take, you know, an hour out of that and go to the beach and take the kids swimming for a little bit. But then I'll still have another hour. So I may, you know, pick up the phone and just, you know, talk to some of my VIP customers that I haven't checked in with for a while. So I'll be filling some of these gaps in here tomorrow again, but this is basically what it is. And even like when I look into my next week, I haven't filled it in quite yet. I usually do that on Sundays, but I already have my non-negotiables in place. So if I get the phone call, somebody wants to go for a coffee or I set up an appointment, I know exactly where I can plug it in. So pre-schedule your time, you guys. It's gonna make it so much more. You'll find that you have more time than you think you do right now. I know so many people, even who have joined our team, they say that, oh my gosh, my life is so busy, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And the moment we together go through 1 or 2 of their days, okay, like what do you have to do today? What do you have to do tomorrow? And then they discover that they have like huge chunks of time that are not being used. So it's just about opening up your mind and putting things down on the paper that allows you to have that visual and see what you actually have available to you. So another thing I'm gonna talk about one more thing and I'm gonna let you guys go. So it is so easy for us to get distracted. This kind of scheduling, I find it keeps me on the ball. I keep this on my kitchen counter because, you know, most people, I think we spend a lot of time in our kitchen. We go past the counter all the time. So I constantly glance, okay, what's next? What's next? Where do I have some time? How are things happening? And, but it also helps me be more distraction free. So how many of you, drop a number 3 below, if you find yourself sometimes scrolling on social media, like, haha, GIF, scroll, you do this, right? And 3 hours later, you wonder, what happened? Like, what happened? Trust me, I know that every single one of you has done this. If you haven't, you're like not really a human. So it is super, super important for us to be aware of our own distractions as well, because it's just this age and time with the social media that we do that. So I'm not saying not to scroll there. Go ahead, do it. But, you know, be intentional about it. So if somebody comments about posts about something, be intentional. Write 2 or 3 sentences as a comment. So you almost leave your personal business card, because people are gonna be like, oh, she took all this time to write this comment. Let's check out who she is. So I don't want to get into a whole social media training here, but be mindful of your time and the distractions. And what some people even do, I haven't needed it yet, But they actually carry, have like a bracelet or a rubber band around one of their arms or wrists. And every time they discover that they are distracted or doing something that they're not supposed to do, they actually snap it, and it actually works quite well. It's like training a dog or something like that. It gets rid of your negative or distracted behaviors. But other than that, you guys, I think this is all I have for you tonight. I hope you found some sort of value in this. These are the tips and tricks that I use in my personal life every single day, and these are the things that I teach my own team, Team Freedom Factory. I want to thank you all for being on here. Feel free to tag your team members. Feel free to share this. And I'll see you next time.